As creative professionals, we need to be able to find inspiration for our work. Have you ever been on a project where you're just thinking, I don't know where to start from here, I've got no current inspiration? I feel like this a lot of the time as well, where I feel like there's no inspiration for me to look at. So I intentionally look at different pieces of artwork or maybe other people's designs to gather inspiration. Now, there is a serious difference between inspiring and stealing. Inspiring is taking a mood or some parts of what someone else has done and implement it into yours. Stealing is by taking what they've done exactly or very much like what they did. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you the 4 best ways to find inspiration. The first one is Pinterest. Pinterest is a social media network. It's about taking pictures that are from different websites, putting them onto the site, and you can pin them to certain boards. If you have an account over at Pinterest, then you can go ahead and put different images into different boards that you've created for different themes, such as weddings. If you wanted to create a board about weddings or this general photo stack for weddings, you can go ahead and type in the keyword weddings into Pinterest and you can pin that picture into that board. For us creative professionals, whether you're a type designer, hand letterer, graphic designer, or logo designer, we can use Pinterest to our advantage. I see it as this huge mood board that we can use, and it's online. We can use it on iPads, iPhones, and computers. When I'm looking for inspiration on Pinterest, I'll type in like vintage hand lettering, and then it'll come up with those 2 keywords and anything else that's been pinned with those 2 keywords inside them. Anything that I like within that category, I can pin to a certain board that I've created called vintage hand lettering. I can even create a board with swirly vintage hand lettering, type that in on Pinterest, and I can find anything with swirly hand lettering, and then I can add it to that board. The great thing about this is that we're not just looking blindly at things that we do like and don't like, we're actually picking out what we do like, so later on when we look at our board, we'll have a mass amount of inspiration that we've chosen and cultivated on Pinterest. Instagram is another obvious way of finding inspiration. I talk about it all the time on the channel because it's such a useful social media network. In fact, it is the biggest social media network on the planet right now. So if you're not on it, you need to get yourself onto it for your business sake and also your inspirational sake. The first hack you can use for Instagram to find inspiration is to search with a little search icon whatever you're looking for. For me, because I'm a hand lettering logo designer, I may look at vintage hand lettering as a hashtag. When I type that in, I will see so many different images with that hashtag in, and I can look at those images and pick out the ones that I like the best, which leads me on to the next hack for Instagram. Instead of liking any images of people that you follow, try to only like images that you gather inspiration from. The reason for only liking images that are inspiring to you on Instagram is so you can look in the current post settings where you've liked your images and you can find them all there. So all those liked images will be things that are inspiring to you and not just a bunch of selfies from your friends. I do this all the time, so if you've been liked by me on Instagram, I find your work inspiring. Another hack for Instagram is by turning on post notifications to some of your favorite designers. For me, I have lots of favorite designers on Instagram or lots of accounts that I follow for some great inspiration, and I go to the top right hand corner of their posts or profiles and turn on post notifications. This means that whenever they post, I get a little notification to my phone telling me that they've posted something, which means I'm more likely to look at it and not miss a single post. The third best way to find inspiration is from buying books. Books have been around for centuries, but nowadays they are printed better than they've ever been printed before. If you're a type designer, there is a book about type. If you're a business card designer, there is a book about business card designs. There's a book about anything, just like the internet. But when we get books, we find things inside them that are a lot more inspiring than we would do online. Books that I find inspiring that I've bought are the logo type books, Lost Logos, Computer Arts Magazine, and all those types of books will help me find inspiration. And because they're books, they generally have a lot more information in them than they do have it on the internet. And that's because you've already bought the book, so they're not really holding back on much of the information. If you're a logo designer or someone who's interested in logos, I would currently recommend you to go and buy Lost Logos, because that book is amazing. It's expensive, but it's one of the best books that I've ever bought for logo design, for inspiration, and just to know what people are doing. And the last best way of finding inspiration is, of course, by going to old vintage fairs. Once every 6 months in my small town that I live in, there is a vintage fair across the road from me. To a lot of people our age, it might sound boring, but to us people who are creative professionals or people who just love vintage things, it is an amazing time where we can buy old products for very cheap that are valuable to us. Whenever I go to one, I always come out with a few little items that Naomi, my wife, doesn't really understand why I've got them, but I know I'll get inspiration from them. The latest thing I've got is this tobacco tin for snuff. It has some amazing typographic references on the top of it, and it's very inspiring the way that it all fits within the circle. If you're a type designer or someone who just loves vintage typography, then go and look in the book sections in these vintage fairs. Some of the book covers are really old, and you can just buy the books for the book covers. They're about £1 each, and that's not very much. It's like $2 if you're in America. It's just a great way of finding inspiration and taking it home with you, and also seeing things in a physical light will help us really see how they created it and what it looks like. So those are the 4 best ways that I have found to find inspiration when we're doing our work. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe with that little red box down below. Also like it, and let me know your thoughts on the vintage fair. Let me know if you've ever been to one and what you do to inspire yourself. If you would like to support what I'm doing here on YouTube, and if you would also like some free products from my online store, then follow the links in the description below to my Patreon account, where you can pledge $2 a month or more if you wanted to, just to help me out. And in return, I give you all my products from my online store for completely free whilst you're a Patreon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on Friday.